Hi everybody, I'm Bob Bernhardt, Principal Pops Conductor of the Chattanooga Symphony and Opera, and the Music Director Emeritus of the CSO, which means I'm old, but that's okay. I'm delighted to be here and to talk to you about Rodgers and Hammerstein, and inviting you to the Tivoli Theatre at 7:30 on Saturday night, this coming, for our Rodgers and Hammerstein show, and it is a delight in every sense, and I'll tell you why. Well, of course, why I'm here is to tell you why, but basically, as I was studying for this show, I have always remembered about my connection to Rodgers and Hammerstein from the time I was a child, but I had forgotten really how beautiful it all is, how simple it is, how direct it is, how gorgeous it is, how tear-jerky it is, how uplifting it is, and how fun it is. It is a body of work that is unparalleled in Broadway, and a collaboration probably the greatest in the history of Broadway, for sure. We're going to be doing music from the Big Five plus one. The plus one is State Fair. State Fair was originally music for a film, the only time that Rodgers and Hammerstein did that, to write directly to a film. It is a wonderful show, doesn't get as much interest as the others, but it has one huge number in it called It's a Grand Night for Singing, which you all, again, will know, and that will be what opens our program. The Big Five, Oklahoma, Carousel, King and I, Sound of Music, and South Pacific. And we will be doing music from each of them. We'll also be adding the one non-Broadway thing that we'll be adding on this program is music from Richard Rodgers' proudest adventure. This is what he called it. And it was music he wrote for Victory at Sea, which is the television series, 21 episodes that ran in the 1950s about the Pacific Campaign in World War II. There's a wonderful arrangement made by Robert Russell Bennett, who actually Bennett was the arranger for almost all of the music you're going to hear at our concert. And this Victory at Sea was really a labor of love for Richard Rodgers, and it was and is extraordinary. I think you're going to love hearing that music again. It's very interesting. I was, well, you'll be the judge if it's interesting or not. I was guest conducting in Cincinnati a couple of years ago with the Pops there, and was talking to their young assistant conductor who had just gotten the job. And I found out that I asked him, what was on your audition? What did you have to conduct for your audition? He mentioned several standard classical pieces that you would expect for a conducting audition with a great orchestra. And then the last thing he said was, I had to conduct the soliloquy from Carousel for my job. And I said, that makes perfect sense. And if there's one major challenge, certainly conducting challenge, connecting soloist and the orchestra, it is this very famous piece called the soliloquy from Carousel. It's when the anti-hero of the show, it's, by the way, it's really pretty much their only tragic collaboration, Rodgers and Hammerstein. It's a very, very sad and very poignant work, ultimately uplifting. But the soliloquy occurs when he hears that he's going to be a father, and he goes off on a flight of fancy, musical fancy, about 7 or 8 minutes long, that shifts and turns and twists from exuberance to worry to wonder. I'm not giving anything away, spoiler alert, but the first half of it is wondering what he's going to do for his son, and then halfway through he realizes, you know what, it might be a girl. Then what do I do? It's a wondrous, beautiful, very strong work. In fact, it's so strong, we're ending the first half of the program with it, and Brett Hyberger will be our soloist. It's a challenge, but as with all great music, challenge turns into enormous reward. They started together in 1943 after having collaborated with others, Rodgers with most famously with Lorenz Hart, with the Rodgers and Hart collaborations. Oscar Hammerstein wrote for Sigmund Romberg and Jerome Kern lyrics. But really in 43, when they got together for the first time, it was Oklahoma. And it was groundbreaking. It was something that Broadway had not seen. And most likely, and it was because they allowed the song and even the dance to propel the plot. They weren't there just to state a certain emotion, but every now and then what the characters were singing pushed the story forward. This was very unusual in Broadway at the time, and it of course contained a dozen hits, and that may be the real signature of Rodgers and Hammerstein together, is that each of their shows have an enormous number of what have become American standards, and you will know every song that we're singing on Saturday night. You'll know every one, and can sing along if you want. Just don't hurt yourselves.